Hey, it's RJ, Class B RV newbie here. So I've had this Travato for about 3 months now, and in this video I want to give you guys a little bit of an update on Travato ownership, my thoughts thus far, as well as talk about some of the mods and upgrades I've done. So let's get into it. And I should point out that this has become my daily driver vehicle. Before this, I was driving a Subaru SUV, and I kind of knew going into buying this Travato that I wanted to make this my only vehicle, my daily driver, because A, I work from home, so I don't drive a lot for work. In fact, I don't drive every day. This vehicle I use just for getting around town and errands, going to the grocery store. Also, I didn't need 2-car payments or 2 cars in the driveway, and selling my old car obviously helped pay a little bit of the van. So I'm able to park this in my driveway with no issues from the HOA, thank you. And I gotta say, so far it's been great. There's obviously things you can't do with it as a daily driver, like you can't park in small parking spaces, small parking lots, parking garages. Now my wife does have a car as well, so we have 2 vehicles to choose from. But so far, having this big 21-foot van as my main vehicle hasn't been an issue. So for the most part, everything's been great, but I did run into a couple issues that I was actually able to fix myself. The first thing was the window on the awning style slider door. I found a little bit of a leak. Basically, every time it would rain, I would go out and check just to make sure there was no leaks from the windows. And on that window, I would find nothing huge, but a couple drops on the bottom where the rubber seal is. I had inspected the window. It didn't look like the window had shifted. I know that's kind of a common problem with these vans, is sometimes, you know, from all the shaking, sometimes the window will shift a little bit and get out of place, causing a break in the seal. But it, you know, to my eyes, it didn't look like that. I also checked the sealant around the window, and it appeared that it was fine. I didn't see any big gaps, but that is kind of the thing. Even though you don't see the big gaps, even the littlest pinhole sized gap will allow water to get in. So basically, I went on Amazon and bought this black sealant, which I'll probably link down in the description. And I decided just to seal the top portion of the window. And the way I did that was I took some, blue painter's tape just to kind of mask it as close to the edge so it was as clean as possible, and just ran like a line of the sealant along the top. The next time it rained, voila, the leak was gone. So I guess when in doubt, if you find a leak in the window, just go ahead and put some extra sealant around it. I didn't want to call Winnebago to try to make an appointment just for something like this, something that I could do myself cheaper and faster. And that's something that I learned on the Facebook page, is a lot of owners will do these easy fixes themselves because, let's face it, we want to get it fixed and go back on the road for adventures. And the other issue I had, which kind of freaked me out, was I had a generator issue. Now, I had this generator issue before I filmed my last video, which was the oil change. But prior to that, how it happened was taking a drive to get some lunch, and I had turned on the generator to put the AC on because it was a very hot day. It was in the 90s. And I remember driving down the freeway and just hearing this kind of big clunking sound. I thought I had hit something or ran over something. Everything seemed fine after that. And when we finally parked, I noticed that the air conditioner had shut off and the generator was off. But then I realized, well, maybe that sound was the compressor in the AC turning off and the generator turning off. So I tried to restart the generator, and it would come on for a couple seconds and then just kind of like fizzle out. And that kept on happening. So eventually we went home, and I tried a lot of different things. And at some point, the generator just wouldn't even start. I went online, and the first thing I did was go to the Facebook group and ask questions. So what I was seeing was there was a flashing fault code, basically a series of flashing lights, and it was fault code 32, which according to the Onan generator manual, fault code 32, crank under speed. Reason: the RPM does not meet minimum cranking speed, which could be caused by either low battery voltage, check the generator, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so basically they were saying that it was a low battery voltage that was causing it to not start or not even turn over. This is a brand new vehicle. My house batteries were fully charged. They seemed fine. I tried everything. I had seen a video about maybe on older generators, the oil level was too high, causing like a a sensor to do something. But so I took some of the oil out of the generator. That didn't fix it. And I kept on thinking, okay, battery power not getting to the generator. So I went underneath, and lo and behold, I was checking all the connections, all the wiring that I could get to, and just making sure that everything was seated properly. And there was this one connector that appeared to be connected, but when I moved it just like a centimeter, it clicked, and that fixed the problem. So visually, this is kind of the thing that I'm learning is, while something may visually look like it's okay, it's possible that it's not okay. The window, this connector, was not seated properly, and I clicked it. So far, I haven't had any issues with the generator. Okay, getting on to some of the upgrades that I've done so far. So I got the Travato right at the start of summer, and it's no surprise that this summer has been very, very hot. And when you're parked, the interior of the van can get upwards of like 106 degrees. So when it's parked at home, what I'll do is I will ventilate it a little bit. So I will crack open the max air fan on the top, and then kind of vent some of the windows just so there's a little bit of airflow. But something else I did was I bought this big roll of Reflectix. Now Reflectix is like a sunshade, but it's also used for like insulation purposes, I think. So basically what I did was cut out Reflectix panels that fit almost all of the windows I have on the Travato. It was really easy to do. For the side windows, just measure it and just make rectangles. And for the front window and the driver's side and passenger windows, since my Travato came with simple foldable shades, I just traced out Reflectix around those shades so it was the exact same size. And what I'll do is I'll put the Reflectix up to the window and then put the shades behind it. Okay, so another upgrade I did, which has really helped out. You know, a lot of these Class B vans don't come with curtains to separate the driving area from the living area. So what I did was I went on Amazon and I found this curtain rod that's adjustable. And on the Travato, there are these 4 screws with little pads of Velcro. So the Travato does come with a curtain that you can Velcro on to these pads, and it's kind of wonky. It's not exactly the nicest looking thing. And I wanted to be able to just easily slide a curtain. So I found this curtain rod, and because these screws kind of are not level, just the 2 outer ones are, I only had to screw it on these 2 sides here. And they come with these clips, and I just bought this kind of blackout curtain. And it's great, so when I'm like parked and I don't want people peeking in through the window in the front, I can just slide it. So it works pretty good and wasn't very expensive at all. Another upgrade that I see a lot of owners doing is the slider door handle is a little bit small. This is the size of the original door handle, and what a lot of people are doing are they're buying a third-party bigger handle. So that is the bigger slider door handle, and this here is the original one. So if you look size-wise, it's a big enough difference to where it's a little more comfortable to pull. And this again was not expensive at all. It makes it a lot easier to open, and plus it comes with like a little hook to hang. I don't know what you want to hang there, but now another thing that I did which kind of solved a problem was the lighting inside of the Travato. There's a lot of lighting and it's not dimmable for the most part, and it's a little bit too bright. So I wanted to put in something that would be a little bit more moody, something that wasn't so bright. And what I did, I just went on Amazon. It might be hard to show you during the daytime, but I bought a battery-powered string light, or fairy lights. It's kind of hard to hang from the ceiling in the Travato because it's kind of like this cushiony material. So I have it kind of strung around these little buttons. So it comes with a remote, multi-colors. Can you see? There's blue, red, green. You know, it's great to have them on while you're driving. Runs on battery, so I don't have to worry about plugging it in. I do wish there was a slicker way of hanging them. If anyone has any tips on a way I could hang these a little bit better. I tried command strips, but the adhesive, because it's so hot, it would just melt off and all fall down. Some additional stuff that I bought for the van to make life a little more comfortable. I got some of these clip-on rechargeable fans. This one I just have clipped onto the Ram mount track. And this one here I just have clipped onto the kitchen sink. And this is for the dogs. Sometimes they like to lay on the bed here. And also something that I ran into when I was going grocery shopping is, you know, I would have all these grocery bags. They would kind of roll around. I needed something to secure them, but also something that I could keep out of the way when I wasn't using it. So I found these on, where else? Amazon. These are clever made, collapsible bins, which I bought 3 of them and they collapse down flat so I can put them underneath the bed. But check this out. So these just open up simply like that. You've got these little bins. So I will lay these down on the ground and put my grocery bags in them. And when I'm done, just collapse them flat, put them underneath the bed, out of sight, out of mind. All right, guys, there you have it. That's my 3-month update on my van. And by the way, if you didn't know, I named the van Matt Foley, which if you're an old school SNL fan or Chris Farley fan, you might catch the reference.
My name is Matt Foley, and I live in a van down by the river.
So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click that thumbs up. And if you're into videos like these, Travato specific videos, van life videos, click that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video.